Hello, everybody, and welcome to our final interview with the team from JLL. And today I'm joined by Laura Peterson and Zach Bowders. Thanks for joining me. And tell me a bit about how you two are going to be involved with the upcoming project with the data school.
Sure. It's a little bit trippy for me to be doing the 360 from going from data school or doing client projects to be the client leading a data school project. We're going to be coming in, Zach and I, on Monday and presenting the team with real life scenarios, stuff that we have data schoolers on placements working on and stuff that my team works on day to day. So it'll be a really great real work experience, but we're going to be doing dashboard makeover.
How would you approach the project if you were a data schooler?
Great question. I'd ask as many questions as I can up front because oftentimes scoping is one of the biggest concerns. In fact, while I'm at the data school, I'm going to be doing a presentation called Surprise and Delight about meeting and exceeding client expectations, because one of the most difficult things is modulating your approach to your client because no two clients are the same. So asking for more information, because many projects, much like the onboarding project to JLL, comes with little information. So you can make assumptions about what you think we're looking for, but really ask, because at the end of the day, we're going to be the ones that are looking at it, and you want to get as close to the pin as you can in terms of that. So ask questions up front, ask questions during development, and at the end, ask, what you could have done differently. So be curious.
And Laura, from your perspective, having done client projects at the data school, so you know what it's like from their perspective, what did you learn during your client projects in the data school that you could give as advice to the team in New York?
So I think some of the greatest takeaways that I had from our client projects are like Zach said, sort of managing client expectations, and also knowing yourself and timing. So how long will this take me? And setting those realistic expectations, and also knowing that in some cases, done is better than good, right? On Friday, you want to have something to show. So, and like you said, if you're struggling, don't be afraid to raise your hand and ask for help from, your peers, from the client if you need clarification, but just find that inspiration somewhere.
There's three possible scenarios. They get it all done and it's really high quality, but there's two other ones. They could finish it, but have it be lower quality, or not finish it and have the bits they did finish be high quality. Which would you prefer?
Honestly, I would prefer a higher percentage finished, selfishly, because whatever isn't finished comes back to me and my team to make over. So it's easier to have sort of a starting point from at least the bare bones of the dashboard. Like, okay, yes, this makes sense to have these charts here, and now I just need to focus on fonts, colors, padding, formatting, etc.
What would you like to learn from the project?
I mean, I'd really like to learn how the data schoolers work and how they've been learning. I've been a fan of the data school since I first encountered you and Ava and everyone that was coming out of it from the UK. And I was sort of blown away by the talent that was coming out of there. And I was always sort of envious that we didn't have that in the US, because if I had known about that 10 years previously, I would have just gone back. I would have done that. I mean, I already had an MBA and I was like, oh man, this is what I want to do. This is one of the best ways to do it. So I'd like to see where they're at this place in their education. And I think this is a great exercise, both in terms of they're applying the technical skills that they've acquired at the data school, and they're having to make real business decisions on the fly in terms of my scope, my time is limited. The scope is either what I've asked or I'm having to define it on the fly. Am I going to let scope creep blow me out and I'm not going to finish? Or am I going to put constraints on myself and get this thing done?
For the project coming up, what does a good outcome look like for you?
I would love to see good presentations on Friday, and participation from everyone, engagement, asking questions. The fun part for me is that I will be working from the data school most of the week. So a lot of times for us, the client would do the presentation and then disappear, until Friday. But I'll just be there in the background, available on, for questions, and to do what we would be doing at JLL, viz reviews. So I'm really looking forward to high engagement and good questions. And I really just want to see their skill set shine. This is, I guess, less technical and more of a formatting and can you present something with polish type of flex that we're looking for.
Are you at all interested in comparing them to where you were at the same time you were in training?
No,
so
because the bar has risen so high since I was at data school. I look at all your blogs about what it took to get into, DS31, and I'm like, oh gosh, I would have never made the cut. So they're already a mile ahead of me and where I was.
Okay. For JLL, what do you think the biggest challenge is going to be for this project?
I mean, I think laying out our expectations clearly. And I also think because the class is not small, there are time constraints for us in terms of reviewing all this, right? Like we want to make sure we're giving everyone a fair shot to showcase the amount of work they've put in. And that means there's a certain burden on us to execute good time management on our end so that we can get through these projects and we're not giving the first people up front an abundance of time and shorting the last people. So it's not just us looking at the thing, but we're wanting to see like the thought process behind what they do.
And Laura, what do you think the biggest challenge is going to be from the data schoolers?
From the data schoolers, I think wrapping their heads around some of the Viz guidelines and trying to get things like pixel perfect.
In terms of this project, Laura and I have different ends of it that we're representing, and our motivations are entirely different for being here. She is here to represent the project. I'm here to play cheerleader, glad hand, and try to recruit. So, frankly, I'm here to make JLL be awesome and fun. But Laura, what am I going to do?
You are going to be presenting and providing dashboard context and answering questions because the dashboards that we have to make over in order to share them, all of the data has been masked. So things where you might have seen a facility manager name is now literally all gobbledygook, like A235B4. And so there's a lot of fields in the dashboard that are now just nonsense strings of text.
Oh, that's going to be hard to wrap your head around.
It is. That makes it like an extra degree of difficulty. So because Zach and I both haven't had experience, we can look at the title of the dashboard and say, oh, that's about work orders, that this is what this field was. This is the context of the real world. This is what JLL does, for this service line. This is what we're trying to answer for the customers. So being able to provide those context clues is going to be huge.
So Zach, you mentioned, that you wish something like this was around, kind of when you got started in your career. So from that perspective, how would you describe the data school to other businesses?
If you're looking to recruit high quality talent that has essentially been brought up on best practices and some of the best tools in the industry, the data school is like an excellent funnel that's essentially like spitting out prime candidates. If you're looking to become a prime candidate, the data school is an excellent opportunity apprenticeship is something that's kind of gone away. And the data school in many ways is like a modern apprenticeship. You're coming in, you're being taught all the skills you need. You have a job for a few years. And then after that, you're a free agent, right? So it's an excellent opportunity to get some of that experience that is so hard fought because it's a two-part thing, right? You might have all the skills, but if you don't have the actually experience and application of those skills, the skills aren't as valuable because you're going to have to go through all the painful learning experiences. And this is an opportunity for those candidates to get both. And that way, if you're looking to pick people up, you're getting people that have already been seasoned.
How could we improve the data school?
Looking back, what I learned and my biggest takeaways, and I think some of that was the soft skills, because I came out technically confident and above the rest, knowing that in any meeting I was probably going to know the most about Tableau or Alteryx or what to do, but having the confidence to speak up and raise my hand and be vocal in those meetings, but also being able to read the room and knowing when it's appropriate to throw in my 2 cents versus really just sit back and listen.
Great. Okay. Well, that's all I've got for you. I look forward to seeing you in New York on Monday, the 22nd.